I have had the great pleasure of meeting a great number of people. I don't know why he pops up in my head, but one of the greatest pastors I think I've ever met and had the chance to sit in front of. Um, and listen to him at a conference was a pastor that had the ability, as he was explaining things, to put you in the atmosphere as he was speaking about it. I remember listening to him, and I knew he was going to be speaking for a certain period of time. And I looked down at my watch and I said, "Oh my God, he's got 5 minutes. He hasn't even gotten to the point," because he spends so much time putting you in the atmosphere. And I kid you not, when it came time to close, he didn't say it's time to close, one last point or anything else. He just got you there, almost to the second. At least it feels like to me. And then he closed by the natural ending of the story. I really enjoyed hearing him that one time, even though I had seen him many times on TV. That man was Jack Hayford. They call him a pastor of pastors. Powerful person. It was when I was at a church called Cottonwood Church. I got a chance to go and listen to him because I was invited, because I was a part of the volunteer circle. And it was a real honor to sit before Pastor Jack Hayford. He taught me something. He taught me the importance of understanding the atmosphere. And getting to the point is only one aspect of telling the story. He made me feel more comfortable in my own skin and how I communicate, with the understanding that a lot of people don't understand how I communicate, but Pastor Jack Hayford made me feel more comfortable about the way I speak, the way I communicate with people. He told a story. And in that telling the story and setting the atmosphere, he was able to be more impactful with just the last 5 minutes. Because I believe he showed people the importance of the point. Another thing that I admired about him is that he took a lot of time to study, and he surrounded himself with people he wanted to elevate. There is a famous bishop here in Los Angeles that he took the time, who was already famous, who was already well known, already had a large ministry, but he took the time to bring him on to his very humble, or bring him into his very humble but very successful sphere of influence. And this bishop, his name is Kenneth Ulmer. Kenneth Ulmer is attached to Bishop Noel Jones. Bishop Noel Jones is attached to Bishop T.D. Jakes. Bishop T.D. Jakes, mentor, I have seen, but I don't know him. I don't know of him, I should say. As much as we want to harp on the success of all these multi-millionaires, because that's one way of looking at them. I think the thing that most impresses me is their power to have these relationships. It's the thing that I want the most in my life, is to have relationships that I can be a part of, and we can walk out the success principles together. The challenge with people who want success, not the challenge, but a challenge, there are many challenges. One of the challenges that us who want success, want to make great impact, is we think it's done solely of our own accord, instead of creating an atmosphere where all of those who God has called into your world to be a part of a success culture. See, success isn't a destination. Success isn't a dollar value. Success is a culture. I remember years ago wanting to be a part of the culture, the nonprofit culture, or the ministry culture of Cottonwood Church, and being rejected out of that culture. It was one of the most painful things that I ever experienced, other than the pain of wanting to be a part of the culture of the Masonic Brothers in Chicago, and being rejected out of that thing. And that was about as painful as wanting to be a part of the culture, the success culture of my family, who didn't understand success culture at the time. Now, my family is a lot better as we get older, because our kids have learned the lessons from us making the mistakes. So I look at my cousin Keith Vance and his children and his children's children, and I don't look at them personally because I don't know them personally. But I look at the culture that Keith has put into his son to be more healthy mentally, physically, financially. And I admire that. I look at the culture of my cousin Chucky with Magnified Peace, which he's had for, I think, going on 20 years, where he's sowing into the culture of Chicago to change that which we came from. I look at the culture of one of my best friends growing up, David Stewart, who we could talk about his history, but I'd rather talk about his now, who is the owner of a trucking company and mentoring people in business. And these people aren't necessarily having conversations with me. I just see the culture. And I see where we came from and where a lot of us are today. And I appreciate that. When we understand the power of success culture and the responsibility, see, I'm calling you all forth, and the responsibility of that success culture going out from our generation to generations coming behind us, which I believe a lot of us are doing, as I just demonstrated. But once we can get all that to work together, we can become a lot more powerful. Oftentimes, bring people into my world, which is a very challenging world. I live a lifestyle of sacrifice. I'm big on education, and I like to spend a lot of my time just educating myself when I need to spend more time making money. My thinking was if I educate myself, then the money will come, but I think I need to adjust that a little bit more and be a little bit maybe more dogmatic on just earning an income. But I enjoy sharing these principles with people, but it takes up a lot of time. My hope is that we become more mindful of each other and see the significance of us being successful overall as a culture instead of as individuals.